Steelers Nation, it is officially the offseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another season is officially in the books. For Mike Tomlin and company, somehow, some way, they managed to get above 500, and it is not a losing season, which a lot of us anticipated. After a 2-6 start, we kind of already, I suppose, thought it was going to be inevitable. Tomlin said, hold my beer, and said, you know what? I'm going to manage us to get 9-8, and honestly, I have to say it was a strong finish, man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we were on the verge of a losing season, like you stated.
Yeah.
We were one game short, and then the last 4 games, we won them.
Yeah.
Which
isn't really like the Steelers, because normally they collapse in December.
No. I mean, at least lately.
Right.
But, I mean, I got to give them credit. Got to give Tomlin credit. Got to give the team credit. They showed a bit of heart. They showed a bit of fight later into the season. They got eliminated in the last week of the regular season, week 18, something that I don't think any of us really anticipated. We all figured we'd be eliminated by week 13.
No, I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll get into it because, boy, do we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to get into. We have a lot of topics to discuss. Nothing scripted. It's just we got topics. We got some bullet points, and it's just going to be, honestly, how we feel about the season, how we felt about the season, what we think about it, how it ended, and what needs to happen for the Steelers right now, heading into the future, heading into the offseason, and as we approach the draft, which now the Steelers officially hold the 17th and the 32nd overall picks, which is a pretty good position. And boy, do we need it.
Yeah.
It's not an early pick like all of us anticipated, and to maybe some of you guys what they wanted, but 2 early picks, you can't really complain, man. That kind of makes up for not making the playoffs, which if you want us to make the playoffs, I can't blame you, but we knew what the outcome was going to be. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We would have faced the Bills, and we already know what the Bills did against us. That was Kenny Pickett's first career start. That was a rough game, one of the worst losses we experienced all year. One of the worst. Definitely the worst from a scoreboard format, I suppose, but honestly, I wouldn't say it was the worst loss because the worst loss is it's pretty obvious to me. We'll get into it. But how you guys doing in the chat, man? How you guys feeling after yesterday's win and after yesterday just not, making the playoffs, man? How you guys feeling? What are you guys thinking about the offseason? What are you guys thinking after Mike Tomlin's press conference this afternoon where he kind of didn't really say a lot of anything?
No,
in my book.
It was nothing really different. I
didn't get anything from that press conference.
It was a typical Tomlin press conference. I mean, it was his usual, quotes, his usual sayings, nothing of change as of yet.
But there were
the same old.
There was the one topic that was most, notable and what we were all looking forward to was Matt Canada, and he didn't really give much clarity to really anything of his concern or Canada's future. He didn't really say much of he's going to return or any of is he going to go away. But what he said, he didn't really reveal anything, but it's not looking good, folks. It's not looking good, and it frightens the ever-living shit out of me.
Same here.
So,
well, we'll discuss it. We'll talk about it.
Steelers Girl says, hi, guys. How you doing? How's your night been? Wanted y'all to come to Buffalo. I didn't want to go to Buffalo. No, did not. Danny with the Franco. Yes, I'm sporting the Franco because that's what the season, towards the end of the season was all about, was for Franco. So
yes, it was.
Got to sport that, man. Solid win to finish out strong, something to build on. Changes in coaching has to happen. Yes, it does. And it shouldn't happen now. I don't know what the hell we're waiting for. You already see teams making changes.
Yeah, you've seen the Titans make changes. You've seen the Texans make changes. You've seen the Cardinals making changes.
Yep.
You've seen the Browns, for God's sake, making changes. Yeah, here we are just, chilling.
Sitting on our hands, just, watching these teams do something that we should be doing. I just wanted to thank you guys for going live for every game this year, says DHunt28. We appreciate it, man. And glad we could do it, and we plan on doing it next year. In fact, Cold Steel should be joining us next year for that. And a quick announcement, there will be some changes happening to the channel. Nothing too drastic, just from a quality aspect, from a graphical aspect, and, certain changes are going to make the channel kind of pop a little extra.
Yes.
That's our goals, that's our motives, heading into the offseason, heading into the draft, and eventually the 2023 NFL season. So, quick announcement, there's going to be some fun stuff. There's going to be more collabs between us. So, it's going to be fun, man. Hope you guys are here to enjoy it. But the offseason's here, and the content's not going to stop, and we're going to have a lot coming out as well. So I hope you guys continue to join us. Worried about Matt Canada staying, aren't we all? Aren't we all? Keep Steven Sims and Kim Sutton. I think we need to keep a lot more than that, but I agree with those two names for sure.
Yeah.
GT Show says, happy for the win. Happy to miss the playoffs. Excited for the offseason. He also says, round of applause for your Twins 2022 fantasy champion. That's right, you did win. So congratulations.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did. Hey, congratulations, GT. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantasy didn't work out for me this year.
No, it didn't work out for me.
Never does.
In fact, the only fantasy matchup I won was the one I didn't really pay attention to. Go figure.
I mean, hey, shit, you won.
Dan Fry says, y'all got a good team, but Tomlin needs to go. Hate to say it. And honestly, man, hey, that's going to be one of the topics we're going to get into. How do you guys feel about Brian Flores? That's not a topic we were going to talk about, but I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good starting point.
Yeah, Tomlin made it known in his press conference today that a team, he didn't mention what team it was, but he said that they requested permission to interview Brian Flores.
And that team turned out to be the team we just beat a little over 24 hours ago, the Browns.
For their vacant defensive coordinator job because they just fired their recent defensive coordinator. Can't remember the guy's name.
Joe Woods, I think.
But he's
a bum.
I've heard a lot of people, a lot of Browns fans, including Loose Cannon, huge shout out to you, my man, didn't like him.
No, nor him, nor Unger to the max. No Browns fans liked him. In fact, Loose Cannon's words said he was their Matt Canada. So, yeah. Brian Flores has been requested to be interviewed by the Browns, and the Steelers granted permission. He could go. He could not. I would love to demote Terrell Austin back to the secondary coach and promote Brian Flores just so we can retain him.
Yeah.
And I think he's a brighter defensive mind, and he's someone we need to hand the damn defensive playbook to instead of keeping it in Tomlin's hands. But Flores could be on the move. He could be gone. Maybe not.
Plus, with the amount of head coach vacancies coming around nowadays,
yep.
I mean, one team could very well want to interview him for that job. I mean, you know for a fact he's going to want to be listening to those potential offers.
Exactly. So, anything can happen, man.
We could lose Flores, we could not. It's just a wait-and-see moment, man.
Not firing coordinators has been the problem with this team for so damn long. Yeah, it has. It has. We don't fire coordinators. We let their contracts run out and promote the guys from within. That's the problem. That's a problem.
And those recent coordinators, I mean, where are they now?
And let me just be real with you. I don't think there's going to be any coaching changes. I swear to God, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm as wrong as I ever am. He better make some coordinator changes. Tomlin needs to do. Seriously.
Yeah.
Kenny needs to go. We need to build around Kenny and the offense as a whole. I agree. 100%. 100%. That's what the offseason should be all about, is building around Kenny. In fact, do y'all want Canada? Yeah, do we sound like we want Canada fired? Do we want Canada fired?
Yeah, man, let's bring him back. Why the hell not?
Do we want Canada fired?
Hell no. Are you fucking kidding me? Hell no.
You can't be serious. Do we want Matt Canada fired?
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah! Yeah, Matt Canada needs to go. In fact, you know what? Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. What's the first topic we can get into? I suppose we can get into the Steelers season review because that's what the topic of the stream is about, man. We can get into the season review. The Steelers 2022 season, man. It was a crazy ride. It was a bumpy ride like we all anticipated. Heading into this year, I'm not going to lie, man. I anticipated a little bit more competition, and we did get that towards the end of the year, man. The first half was rough. It was very bad. It didn't look good. It did look like Tomlin's first losing season was imminent. Yeah, Tomlin obviously reversed it around, and they eventually finished 9-8. It's a strong finish after a very rough start. And you could say that's mostly because Mitch was the quarterback and Watt was out the majority of the year. Once Kenny was in, and once he started to get safer with the football, and once Watt got back and the defense started to gel together, yeah, that's when the Steelers team started to show some decent potential. And that's when they started getting on win streaks. So the season, man, went, I suppose, as, could you say when it's advertised?
I honestly say it would. I mean,
because it was obviously
with Kenny Pickett being, a rookie first round or a rookie quarterback. I mean,
it was also
no one was going to anticipate him going out there and having like a Justin Herbert type.
No. But it was also the first year without Ben, so there was a lot of eyes on the Steelers of how is this next era going to look, and we kind of got to glimpse in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
And it's kind of promising.
At least for you and me, and coming into the season, we anticipated the Steelers, fighting for that number 7 seed, and that's
did.
exactly what they were.
They did.
They fell short, but that was from their shortcomings from earlier in the season.
Right. Again. Unfortunately, we had to rely on the Jets, but if you never lost to the Jets, you don't have to rely on them. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's those. Bill Carr said it best on Twitter, I think. He said the earlier wins is what matters the most. The earlier wins is really what hurts you later on in the season.
Of course.
And that's exactly what happened. We lost to the Pats. We lost to the Jets. I mean, those are crushing. We lost to the Dolphins on Sunday night. All winnable games.
Yeah.
We win those games. We ain't got to rely on Joe fucking Flacco. We don't. You don't blow a 20-10 lead to Zach Wilson in your own stadium.
No, you don't.
I know Kenny he came in halfway through the game for his first ever NFL action. Mitch got benched, and he threw 3 interceptions, but you don't blow a 20-10 lead to Zach Wilson. You just don't. I look back to that loss, and I'm thinking that's the worst loss all year. There was a lot of crushing losses. There were. The first Ravens loss. The Dolphins loss on Sunday night was crushing because it was so winnable, and we limited the Dolphins when they were really, red hot.
Yeah.
But the offense never once in the second half stepped back up to take the lead. Not once. The entire game was scoreless in the second half, but the Steelers never stepped up and took the game.
Right.
That was the most heart-crushing, but the worst loss in general, I got to give it to the Jets. You just don't lose to them and then rely on them later.
And I understand the Jets at that time were looking like a pretty solid team, and in the future they very well could be, depending on the quarterback situation for them. But, I mean, come on. You don't blow a lead to the New York freaking Jets.
No. It's crushing. When I look back to that, it definitely hurt us in the later run. It's not an uncommon thing for the Steelers and Mike Tomlin because, how many years have we seen it? And it sucks. We got to rely on teams because of our earlier mistakes. Thankfully, though, we have to give credit to Tomlin. Think of Tomlin how you will. He did indeed step up in the second half and brought this team back up and showed a little competitiveness and eventually took them from 2-6 at the half or 2-6 at the bye and eventually finished at 9-8. That is a hell of a second half.
Yeah, 2-6 at the bye, man. I mean, the Steelers were very turnover heavy on offense. The defense, I mean, just because T.J. Watt was out, they were non-existent.
Right.
And, there was bickering between the players and some of the coaches, reportedly, especially in the locker room.
Yeah.
And Tomlin, he found a way to get them together and fight hard in the end.
Even the players, obviously, there was some frustration between Mitch and Deontay, I believe, at some point, and of course, remember the Falcons game? Pickens was frustrated on the sideline.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were a lot of team errors all over the place for the majority of the season, and Tomlin eventually found a way to gel everything together. And although it wasn't the greatest dub in any fashion, they eventually came back and won 4 straight to end the season. And I gotta say that's a good way to end it.
That's a strong way to end it.
That's a strong way to end it, and that's pretty promising. However, that does not and that should not blind Mike Tomlin from the distractions, from the errors, from the mistakes.
And the many holes that this team currently has.
Right. Some are on Tomlin. That includes the coaching. That absolutely includes the coaching. Just because he got another non-losing season, because he doesn't have one non-losing season on his belt yet, still has yet to get that. That shouldn't
be enough to satisfy him.
No, that doesn't sweep everything under the rug. That does not.
And that shouldn't be the standard.
In fact, it should not. In fact, at around the bye week, I said, because we all thought it was imminent that it was going to be his first losing season. I said, well, with Tomlin's first losing season coming, now since he doesn't have Ben no more to back him up, since he doesn't have the non-losing seasons to back him up, this has been a major wake-up call. Now, he did bring us back, and he still has no non-losing season. This still needs to be a wake-up call. It does. Just because we came back and won 9-8 and finished 9-8, and we looked decent towards the end of the season, that doesn't mean anyone's safe. That doesn't protect anyone's jobs.
No.
It does not. That does not distract. That should not distract him from our serious flaws, which is a lot. It's coaching. It's position-wise. There's a lot of flaws that need to be fixed in the offseason. So, Yeah, it's a great way to finish. It's a good way to end the season. It's a strong way. It's promising. But this season absolutely needs to be a wake-up call for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
I don't care how it ended. I don't care how strong it ended. He needs to open his eyes. And I honestly think that next year, 2023, is going to be the biggest season of Mike Tomlin's career.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you right now, if there are minimal changes and they don't do much in the offseason, if there is zero coaching changes, zero coordinator changes specifically, I'm telling you right here, right now, you can expect the same fucking shit next year.
There will be no change.
I don't care what we do in the offseason. I don't care what we do in the draft. I don't care if we trade up and draft Will Anderson to be paired with TJ Watt. The same thing's going to happen. If we make zero coordinator changes, it's going to be the same thing over and over. Now, if he proves us wrong and he does go out and get a different coordinator, if he goes out and gets someone outside the organization, if he builds around Kenny, if he gets a proper offensive genius,
then there is, of course, promise for Pickett's future and this team's future.
But I'm not holding my breath.
No.
I'm not.
If Canada remains the OC, which right now is pretty imminent,
Yeah.
there will be no change, and I'm not going to remain optimistic because his play calling was a bit better, but it wasn't much better.
That doesn't save his job. That does not save his job. It does not.
It was better, but not much better. That doesn't mean that his job's secure. No.
So now
that still means he needs to go.
I agree, and that's the first move we need to make. So now that's the offseason, changes need to be made. They need to be made now. Teams are already doing it, but we're sitting on our hands just waiting for shit for some reason. So it's time to make changes. It's time to do it now, and it's time to build around Kenny. It really is. So good way to finish what was a very rocky season. Kenny's first season's in the books. Pickett's first season is in the books. It's a good way to finish, but there's still a lot of holes, and hopefully Tomlin sees them.
Yeah.
So Tomlin, get to work, man. We gotta start making these changes. Otherwise, next year's gonna be a repeat. And it seems like we've been saying that for how many years now?
Yeah.
This needs to be a wake-up call. Shout out to Steelers Nation 412. Just became, he's a member for 4 months. Says, should Johnson be traded? Should Deontay Johnson be traded? What do you think?
I'd be up to listening to offers.
I would absolutely love to be up to listening to offers. The only concern, the only issue, and this is the Steelers' fault.
Yeah.
And this is actually Omar Khan's fault, honestly, because he's the one that extended Deontay. And at the time, it was good. But looking back at it, they really should have said, you know what, Deontay, this is your prove-it year.
And they ultimately gave him an $18 million extension, I believe it was a 3-year extension.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Deontay didn't finish with 1,000 yards, and he didn't finish with one single touchdown.
Not one. Now, you could say that's mostly because of the quarterback situation. That you could say that's because of the coordinator situation, which you're partially correct, but this is his fourth year?
Fourth, yeah, I believe.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some partial blame on Deontay Johnson. He is the most hot and cold player I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, the way I see it, if you're being paid $18 million, I anticipate you to do something.
Well, here's the problem with Deontay. He will make a phenomenal play, but the very next play, he'll be the dumbest receiver you've ever seen.
Yeah. He'll either
There's
drop
no
a pass,
in-between.
He'll either drop a pass or he'll catch a pass but completely backpedal.
There's no in-between with Deontay. So, yes, I would absolutely listen to offers for Deontay Johnson, but here's a problem. If we trade him, we are filled with a lot of dead cap.
Yeah.
We are, as of now, we are stuck in Johnson's contract. I don't think we can trade him until after the 2023 season, where we won't see as much of a dead cap effect. So, I think we're trapped in Johnson's contract for one more year.
And honestly, we're just going to have to hope for the best and hope that Johnson takes a big step next year with Kenny Pickett going into a second year. Hopefully with some changes to the coaching staff, we'll see.
And hopefully he does improve. Maybe there's still a little optimism on that. Maybe if we do get a proper coordinator, fingers crossed, with Kenny progressing his second year, maybe Deontay has his best year to date, fingers crossed. Surrounding Kenny with extra weapons is definitely a go because he's a young quarterback. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
That was probably a motive for extending Deontay in the first place. But the way I see it, you could say he has one more chance if you want to go there. But let's say we do go there. One more chance and he doesn't show up. I'm listening to the offers in 2024.
Yeah, no question. You know, it's crazy. This year, Deontay actually put himself in the history books. It's not good, though, but with his 86 receptions that he had this year, it's actually the most receptions caught in an NFL season without one receiving touchdown. That's the most in NFL history.
Yep.
That's not good. That's not good stats to have in the history book, but, I mean, Deontay's in there.
Deontay is in there. He is now the top guy in there, so there you have that. Keep him and hope he steps it up. I think that's what the Steelers are going to do. Not only because of a contract issue, but because they trust Deontay. I don't think he's the number one, but I agree. Keep him, see if he steps it up. If not, listen to Offseason 2024.
Yeah.
Would you like to see Cliff Kingsbury as OC? No. I think he's Matt Canada 2.0 with hair.
No, Cliff Kingsbury, honestly, I think he's going to go back to the college level, as he should.
He's a college coach.
He's not ready for the NFL.
Go back to Texas Tech.
I don't know if he ever will be ready for the NFL.
No.
Not just as a head coach, but as a coordinator or even a position coach.
No, I'm not a fan of Cliff Kingsbury. That didn't work in Arizona. The entire Arizona Cardinals organization is a complete mess. What they've done the last 4 or 5 years has been absolutely torturous to the Arizona fans, and has set this the franchise back for years.
And now they're going to have to do a clean sweep as they're looking for a new head coach, and their general manager stepped down to focus on his health. So they're looking to completely revamp that whole franchise.
Yeah, so
that's a luck to them.
So I'm not a fan of bringing in Kingsbury. What's the next topic we can get into? Let's see. We should get like a run game coordinator for OC. I would love that. I'd
be down with that. Yeah.
Well, that's what we should focus on is the run game. We have a strong run game.
Yeah.
Build the line, use the run game, build around Kenny.
You know, there weren't too many positives this year when it came to the offense, because I think when it comes to rankings, our offense was actually a little bit worse, which is weird because we actually had a younger quarterback, but that didn't really help much. But one of the positives to this offense in the rankings was definitely our rushing game.
100%.
The offensive line was still dreadful. The run blocking was very inconsistent. But Najee, especially in the second half of the season, he stepped it up big time. Was able to get 1,000 yards for a second time in his career.
Yeah, you're right.
And Jalen Warren, an undrafted rookie free agent, came up big, took that number 2 role, and ran with it. And he was a great number 2 this year.
And we'll talk about it later because that is definitely something to look forward to next year, is that run game.
Yeah.
But we want to get into the second topic, man. Grading Kenny Pickett's rookie season. Let's talk about number 8. Let's talk about Kenny Pickett, man. Kenny Pickett. His rookie season is officially in the books. And I honestly say that Kenny had a very solid rookie year. From a statistical point, you may not say that. But if you watched every game, if you watched every snap like we did, Kenny honestly looked a lot better down the stretch, man. He got comfortable. He got safe. And those 2 straight back-to-back game-winning drives versus the Raiders versus the Ravens is incredibly promising. Yeah. Does he still have his errors? Does he still have accuracy issues? Does he still run out the pocket a little too much? Does he not trust his line, which I don't blame him?
Of course.
Does he use his mobility a little too much because he's young, and should he focus more of remaining in the pocket? Possibly. He still has his errors, and I hope that comes with time. But he showed so much promise, and I am sold on Kenny after his first year.
Yeah.
I was sold after the Raiders and the Ravens come back, but seeing how the most important aspect of his game and the biggest jump I've seen from Kenny Pickett was the first half of the season to the second half.
Yeah.
He had 2 touchdowns to 7 interceptions.
8.
No, 7.
Was it 7? I thought it was 8.
I'm talking about the first half of the season.
Yeah, I thought he had 8 in the first half of the season before the bye.
7.
All right, if you say so.
I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I think he had 2 touchdowns to 7 interceptions before the bye. From when he stepped in to the Jets to the Eagles game before the bye. He had 2 touchdowns to 7 interceptions.
Yeah.
After the bye, he had 5 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. That's a significant jump. It's not mind-blowing numbers because he only had 7 touchdowns and 9 picks as a rookie. It's not mind-blowing. He didn't have double-digit of anything. But
that second half, though, you saw the development, you saw the growth, and the potential that Kenny does have for this team.
All I wanted to see was just continued progression and baby steps. I'm not asking him to go out there and sling it like he's been. That's huge shoes to fill, and that's too much pressure on Pickett. I'm not asking for the greatest quarterback in the world. I'm not asking for a 20-year vet. I'm not asking for Tom Brady. I'm not asking for a top 10 quarterback. I want someone that is capable of winning us the football game and being safe with the football. And that's what Kenny did in the second half of the season.
He did.
And that's very promising to see. Hopefully in the offseason, we do get him a better offensive coordinator to build around him. And for the love of God, get him a line. And hopefully Kenny understands the errors that he had in his rookie year. Like you saw in the first half to second half, he realized he couldn't get away with certain throws. He had to be safer with the football. And indeed he did.
Yeah.
Now, in his second year, I can anticipate some continued progression because he's such a football mind. He's just all about film and bettering himself. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He just loves to win. He knows what he needs to do to win. So I trust Kenny as a film study, as a football junkie, as a film junkie. I trust him in that aspect to just better himself, and it's the Steelers' job to build around him.
Yeah.
So Kenny's rookie year, if I had to give him a grade, I'd say it's a B-.
And I would have to agree.
Nothing too crazy, but enough to show that I think he's the guy.
Yeah. I would definitely have to agree. You know, seeing his progression in the second year is definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
As well as that chemistry that he's going to build with his targets, with Deontay and Pickens.
Especially Pickens.
And Muth.
You saw that, especially with Pickens.
And even, not just the chemistry, but the leadership that
Yep.
he definitely showcased a little bit. I think that's going to continue to grow even more as he gets older, as he gets more into the NFL, as he learns to control and take over this offense.
Yeah.
It's going to be promising.
I'm excited for Kenny Pickett's future, and I think he had a very solid rookie year. Nothing crazy from a statistical aspect point, but stats aren't everything. What I saw from Kenny was progression, and I hope in his second year he takes a pretty decent jump. It's just the Steelers' job to build around him. That's what we got to do. We already got the run game. We got Najee. We got Warren to trust. He's got the targets. I don't think we're that very receiver hungry or receiver needy.
No.
We're not. We have the targets. Just give him a line and the proper coordinator. Kenny will do the rest.
Yeah.
For the love of God. So, Kenny Pickett, shout out to you. Very nice rookie year. I'm excited to see what you can do in year 2. How you guys feel about Kenny's first year, man? What would you get? What grade would you give him? How do you feel about Kenny? There's been a lot of talk in the chat. There's been some 50-50 feelings, man, about Kenny, especially in the watch parties we were doing where we seen, start Mitch. Oh, Kenny's not the guy. Kenny's this, Kenny's that. We seen it all.
Yeah.
Man, and I'll be the first to tell you, bro. I was not the biggest fan when we drafted Kenny Pickett, and that's not because of him as a player. It was his age.
It was a nitpick by you.
It was incredibly silly. It's incredibly stupid.
It was.
Because he's a fucking quarterback in today's NFL. Who cares how old he is?
At the time, I mean, me and Dan here were just, focused on Malik Willis because he was the talk of the town for the majority of the draft process, and Malik Willis was just the better athlete and his athletic ability.
But we were so blinded by that it completely went over our head that they know him better than any quarterback in the draft. They've watched him for 5 years.
He was the guy next door.
Why wouldn't they pick him? It made all the sense in the world. My only concern was because of that and the entire quarterback class in general, I thought to myself, I feel like every quarterback's got to sit because there's no one crazy in the draft from the quarterback position. Kenny was the most NFL ready, but I didn't know if he was day one ready. Now, I was probably wrong on that because looking back at it, we should have absolutely started Pickett over Mitch. 100%. But when he came in, you just seen the energy. You seen the team rally behind him.
Yeah.
And you seen him just better himself game after game.
It's because the entire team, the receivers, the staff, everybody, they knew that this guy was the guy for the future.
Yeah.
Mitch was just a fill-in. Mitch did his job, not too great at all, but he did his job. It's because everybody knew that Pickett was the future. He was going to be the guy for them. And when he came in, completely different vibe in that offense.
100%. I'm excited for Kenny. What do we do with Mitch? What do we do with Mitch?
Trubisky, yeah, he's going to be with us for another year.
He's on a contract, but do the Steelers release him? Do they listen to offers? Does Mitch request his release? Because he did say that, I probably shouldn't have signed with the Steelers day one. And that doesn't mean, I don't think that means he regrets signing with the Steelers. It's just he regrets not looking at all his options.
Yeah, because it was day one of free agency, and he was quick to signing with, I guess, I'm going to assume was the first team that, called upon him.
Yes. So I don't think it's him saying, fuck the Steelers. I think it's him saying, shit, maybe I should have just looked at all my offers first.
That could be the case.
But I'm not bringing Mitch back. I'm done with Mitchburg. I am.
Yeah, that's a good topic to bring up there is the backup quarterback position because Mitch, he may stay, he may not stay. We don't know. And Mason Rudolph, he's anticipated to be a free agent. And honestly, I don't anticipate him coming back, and I don't blame him based off the way that he's been treated.
Mason should not come back because the Steelers have done him dirty. They have. And think of Mason how you want. I don't think he ever got a fair shot. And you could say, 2019. That doesn't count. No one is ever going to beat Ben Roethlisberger at the starting job.
Take his job.
No, he never had a fair shot. When they did, they brought in a first-round bum in Kenny Pickett. So if Mason leaves, I don't blame him. In fact, I encourage him to leave. Only because he deserves somewhere that's going to give him a starting spot.
I mean, there's a handful of teams that are going to be looking for some quarterback competition.
And I'm not saying he's starter-worthy. I'm not. What we see from Rudolph is what we're going to see from Rudolph now. There's no continued progression with the guy. But I don't think he ever got a fair shot. So if he leaves, go ahead. But who's the starting or who's the Steelers' backup quarterback next year? If they keep Mitch, it's Mitch. If they don't, I don't know. Do we bring back Josh Dobbs? Does Mason stay? Is he as professional as ever? And does he ever sign with the Steelers as a backup?
You know, I would be shocked if he were to stay with the Steelers. Just based off the way he's been treated, and the media, asking him these questions, and everything. Like I got to give Mason credit with everything that's been going on throughout his career and recently. Like he's been so professional.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So I don't know what the Steelers' backup position is going to be, but I think Mitch's future in Pittsburgh is done.
Yeah, and Mason, I mean, I think he should go, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, I agree. Dredman, how you doing, brother? He said with a $2 super chat, don't forget, we get Calvin Austin the third back next year. Agreed.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm not very concerned about receiver. Everyone says, we should get Jordan Addison early. We should pair him back with Pickett because that's going to help his progression. You might be right on that, but drafting a receiver early should be the least of the Steelers' thoughts right now, honestly.
As a matter of fact, they shouldn't draft a receiver at all.
Well, first of all, here's how I look at it. The past couple years, Juju, gone. Washington, gone.
Claypool
traded. 32nd pick. Thank you, Bears. Why draft a receiver early? Especially when we have Pickens, Deontay, Pat, Connor Hayward is a fucking baller. Calvin Austin's coming back. You can trust Warren. You can trust Najee in the backfield as a receiving back. Pick up a vet guy. You're set. We don't need receiver in the draft.
No. Not one bit.
No.
The thought of Addison pairing back with Pickett, yes, it's nice. And I'm sure the chemistry would be fantastic for Pittsburgh, but it's not a position of need.
No.
We need to focus on needy positions, and we got a lot.
That's a great transition. Changes Steelers need to make in the offseason. You already know what we're going to say first. You already know. Fire Matt Canada.
Yeah.
Get that bald son of a bitch out of here. Why we haven't yet? I don't know. You see the Titans firing people. The Browns firing people. The Texans, for some reason, firing people. Like they always are. But we sitting on our goddamn hands just looking at this news, doing nothing. Tomlin saying that, the improvement from the offense is encouraging. The improvement from Matt Canada is encouraging. And he thought he did well. But when it comes to a decision for Canada, he's not there yet. What does that mean? I don't know. It doesn't sound good. That's all I think about.
Well, not just Tomlin's comment, but even Najee's comment from yesterday. Apparently, he said, according to Brooke Pryor on Twitter, Najee said, we all believe in Matt Canada.
Who's we? We?
I mean,
we?
I don't know who believes in Matt Canada, but me and Dan, I'm sure a lot of you tuning in have no faith in Matt Canada.
You could hang on to, the offense ran better. Once we got a run game going, we kind of got an identity, and Matt Canada's play calling was a little better. I'm not going to disagree, but that's not saving his job in my book.
No, that's not enough to save his job.
No, it's not. Is he an offensive coordinator that could lead us to the playoffs? Is he an offensive coordinator that could lead us to number 7? No. So what the fuck is he still in the job for?
As a matter of fact, if you look at the rankings from last year with Ben Roethlisberger to this year with two younger quarterbacks, our offense was actually worse. How that's the case, I have no fucking idea. But it was worse. Yet Matt Canada still has his job. Because he improved literally a little bit. But that's not enough to keep your job. And that's not good for this team's future and Kenny Pickett's future. I'm sorry.
Another problem with Canada is he has 1 year left under contract. We do not fire coaches. Tomlin does not fire coaches. It doesn't help. Canada got Dino Tomlin into Maryland, Tomlin's kid, and of course the connection with Pickett from the Pittsburgh days in college.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, all the ties are knotted together, and it's not looking good. It's just
going to continue the tradition that the Steelers have back with our former offensive coordinators, Randy Fichtner, Todd Haley. It's going to continue that tradition, but that tradition ain't good.
And because of the increase in play from the offense, and because of the 9-8 record, the non-losing season, that might save his job. That does not in my book. That does not in our book. You guys can think differently. That you're right, but no, I am not bringing back Matt Canada. That dude should be fired right now.
And we said it, and we stated it before. We're going to state it again. If he stays, if Matt Canada remains as the OC, nothing will change.
Nothing is going to change. I don't care what moves we make. Nothing is going to change. Not one thing.
You want to hold on to that optimism? That's on you. Be my guest. But me and Dan here are not.
No.
We're sticking to our guns, and we're going to believe, and we're going to think that this offense will not change an ounce. If Canada's still the OC.
And plus, with all the targets out there that we could bring in, the outside guys that we can bring in and interview, I mean, this is the best time to do it. So why not? Especially when you have a young quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't care if he has any history with that doesn't matter. That doesn't do anything. It doesn't.
No.
Doesn't do anything in my opinion. So Canada should not stay in my book. He should not. Why he's not? At one point in the season, we were dead last in almost everything offensively.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
that should warrant a firing.
That was during the bye week.
That should warrant a firing. Not if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, not if you're Mike Tomlin. I don't know why. If Canada comes back, we are doomed. I have seen enough of the Canada experiment. So if he comes back, I'm not liking what next year's going to look like. But I'm not holding my breath on the firing. I know we keep saying it. We've been saying it all year. We've been saying it since Ben retired, man. Since before Ben retired. But,
oh my God, we were saying it when Randy Fichtner was our OC. Randy's got to be fired, but yeah, he was never fired.
I'm still going to scream at the top of my lungs, fire this guy. And until they do it, man, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on it, but it's
But hell, even then, I'm probably going to speak into existence, but this is what I'm predicting. This is what I'm going to guess because it's the Steelers' way. It's the standard nowadays.
I already know what you're going to say.
Canada's going to remain the OC. He's not going to be good, but he's not going to get fired. After next season, he's going to leave. His contract's going to expire, and then we're going to promote our quarterback coach, Mike Sullivan. Not the Penguins coach.
Either him or Pat Meyer, our O-line coach. Because Tomlin actually confirmed he had a little insight on the game planning for the offense. Which may also explain why we were much better in the run game, but these in-house promotions aren't helping. Ever since Haley was fired, ever since Haley left, in-house promotions have not worked. Not once.
No.
Hell, as a matter of fact, ever since LeBeau left, ever since Haley left, we've done nothing but in-house promotions, and we're seeing the same issues. Year after year after year after year. And we've had how many different guys now?
And where are those guys that left? Where are they now?
Where's Fichtner? Where's Haley? It's time to change the formula. That's the first move that needs to be made. The first of many. It's the first that should have been made already, but it's not. What's next? What do you think? What's the next move?
Offensive line.
Offensive line, 100%. You got to build the offensive line.
Specifically the left side. The middle was fine, I would say. Mason Cole filled in, I'd say, decently.
Yeah, I agree. James Daniels is pretty solid. He looked better towards the end. Chucks is all right, but I'm not feeling his contract next year.
No, I would sense that they would do a pay cut.
They would have to. If they take a pay cut, I'm bringing Chucks back. Why not? But the left side needs a complete revamp. Dan Moore is not the starting left guard or left tackle, and Kevin Dotson is not the starting left guard, not by any chance.
No. I don't know what happened to Kevin Dotson.
I don't know what happened to either. Maybe it's a little too much expectation on our part, but God, the progression has been rough from them, and they've shown nothing. That left side is killer. Yeah. It's actually what's led to Kenny's first 2 concussions.
Yeah.
We need to build that left side.
They got to fix that left side of the offensive line.
And I think the way they can do it is, I don't know who's in the free agency pool, but go out and grab a starting caliber left guard and draft a franchise left tackle. In my opinion, the 17th overall pick should be left tackle, the best available left tackle on the board.
Yeah.
That should be the first Steelers pick. You could say corner. You could say defensive line. You could say, middle linebacker. But in my book, it's left tackle.
Because we neglected the offensive line position for
years.
Far too long for the first round.
Too many years.
We filled the void of, the Goon Squad when they all left and they all retired. We filled we
filled the line with mid-rounders.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Kendrick Green, bum. He was on the bench all year. Why is he with the team? I don't know. Dan Moore, 4th round. Not much progression in his last couple years. Kevin Dotson, 4th round. Not much progression. Chuck's 3rd rounder. He's the only consistent guy on that line that's decent.
Yeah.
That's been around for the past couple years.
We have neglected the offensive line for far too long in the draft early. When we did focus on the offensive line early in the draft, who did we get? David DeCastro. Fucking gem.
Marquise Pouncey.
Gem.
Who could forget Alan Faneca? Pretty much 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
I know the Steelers have a decent track record of mid-round guys in the offensive line, but that's got to change now. The formula that they've been doing the last couple of years has really set this team. It's set this team back a little bit. They need to change the formula, and they need to go out and grab a franchise left tackle in the first round. That should be the 17th overall pick. No ifs, ands, or buts. Unless they trade for someone or they make a big signing, the left tackle position needs to be addressed number 17 come late April. They need to build the trenches for sure. They also obviously need to build corner. They need to build middle linebacker. They need to build defensive line.
Yeah.
The way to do that is you could bring back Ogunjobi. He looked good. I think he's a priority you got to resign, as well as Edmonds, Sutton, Casey. Most importantly.
Yeah, those are the main 4 guys when it comes to the handful of free agents that the Steelers are going to have. Those are the main 4 guys you got to bring back ASAP.
Everyone else, I say walk. Or Marcus Allen, walk. Bush, get the fuck out. Spillane, maybe. Maybe he can come back. Maybe. Everyone else, take a dip. Otherwise, middle linebacker needs to be addressed. You could get someone in free agency. Everyone keeps saying Tremaine Edmonds, Terrell's brother. Why not? Get the Edmonds brothers together. Why not? There's also decent guys in the draft. Same thing with corner. We need a corner. Corners are solid, but there's no significant number 1. Levi Wallace is a number 2. Sutton's a number 2, but more so a slot guy. Witherspoon needs to go. William Jackson, they should not bring him back because that's just band-aiding corner and saying, guess what? We fixed corner. We re-signed William Jackson, even though everyone forgot we traded for him. That's not improving cornerback. That's just filling a gap.
Yeah. You're relying on his first-round pedigree, although he's an aging veteran who has injury problems and is inconsistent in coverage.
Agreed.
You don't need that.
So we could do that in free agency. We could do that via the draft. We have, I think, 4 picks. No, 3.
3 picks in the top 50.
Yeah, 3 picks in the top 50, but 4 in the top 100.
Yeah.
When was the last time Steelers ever had that?
Couldn't tell you, man. So it gives them a big opportunity to fill these holes, man.
And especially defensive line. Especially defensive line. I think they got to go defensive line early.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to number 32 being defensive line. In fact, if it was up to me, the first 2 picks would go to the trenches, 1 for each side.
That's what they got to focus on. They got to protect their quarterback, and they got to get a guy in the middle to stop to fill that gap. We haven't had anybody that has filled that gap in a long time. Probably since recently Javon Hargrave.
Who's a free agent, by the way.
Could bring him back. We could look at that position in free agency. We could look at a lot of positions in free agency. But there's a lot of guys, a lot of young guys in the draft that, we have the flexibility now that we haven't had in recent years.
I was going to say, we got some flexibility with draft picks. We have cap room to work with, plus guys that may take pay cuts. This is going to be a very important offseason for the Steelers and Omar Khan. Yeah. This is Omar Khan's first offseason as Steelers GM. as well as Andrew Waddle,
Our first ever assistant general manager in franchise history.
who, if you don't know much about him, he used to be a personnel for the Eagles front office. And if you look at the Eagles team now, you can thank him for a majority of their additions. Guys like Hurts, that entire offensive line was mostly his scouting.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be the assistant GM to Khan, where Khan's going to be that financial salary cap wizard like he always is, and Waddle can just be that scouter, that guy to bring in talent. So that aspect gives me hope. It really does. It gives me hope for the offseason that we can bring in guys and make some decent splashes, and maybe the draft turns out pretty decent.
Yeah. If everything goes to plan, if everything goes according to plan, everything goes like we stated,
Right.
they could hit a slam dunk, man.
I agree. But because of that, and I don't mean to put too much weight on Khan and company, but this is going to be a very important offseason. They need to strike with this offseason this year because, let's be honest, Hayward's time's running out. Watt's only aging. He's still a monster. He's not showing like, oh, Watt's aging, he's declining. He's not. But the clock is ticking on Watt at some point. And Kenny is still in a contract, a rookie contract.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to strike before Hayward's prime's done, before Watt's prime's done, before Minka's prime's done, before Tomlin's out of here, and before Kenny gets a big-ass extension if he is indeed the future.
It's because of the miscues and the faults that we had in previous off seasons and drafts with Kevin Colbert. When you look back at it, Kevin Colbert kind of had
Let's be honest, man.
He had some rough off seasons when we look back at him.
Let's be honest, man. We love Kevin Colbert to death.
Can't thank the guy enough.
He's done a lot of good for this team, but if you look at the past couple drafts, man, has he absolutely whiffed. Trading up for Bush was terrible. Not focusing on offensive line early has really set the team back.
Yeah.
The past couple drafts has hurt us. It really has. If you look at each and every draft class the last probably since 2017, it's not that great. No. Not that fancy. Not a lot of guys where you look at the draft class and you're like, gem. Not much.
Now, there's only a handful of guys that you can look at the previous draft classes that still remain with the team today.
So this offseason, man, there's going to be a lot of changes, and it's going to be a big one for guys like Khan and company to absolutely strike. They have the stuff to do it. They have the flexibility. They have some freedom. Let's get it done. That's why I can't wait for the free agency period. I know we got a couple months to wait, but hopefully the coaching changes come first, and then that's when we can get excited for free agency period.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not holding my breath on the coaching, but I'm excited to see what Khan and company can do, seeing what they have to play with. So again, not putting too much weight on their shoulders, not trying to put too much on their plate, but
this is a
serious offseason.
This is a big and important offseason for Khan and company.
And I know we said that last year with Colbert, his last one going out, but this one especially with Pickett's second year, like we got to strike now. We got to strike within these next 4 years.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, man, I don't know. And honestly, I don't know if we win another Super Bowl with Tomlin because he hasn't shown me that he can take us back there because he hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. And he's just satisfied with a non-losing season. I hope I'm wrong. But, guys, you know, we got to get out of our comfort zone, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
What other changes need to be made in the offseason, man? We said Cannon needs to go. I would even argue Terrell Austin needs to be demoted, and we need to promote Brian Flores before the Browns or someone else takes him away. Obviously, we need to build the trenches.
Yeah, like we said, offensive line, defensive line, middle linebacker, cornerback.
Yeah.
I think we just stayed about, at least the main topics.
I suppose to continue on with the discussion of where Khan and company got to strike, we need to make some certain splashes.
Yeah, we do.
Guys like Tremaine Edmonds, maybe even a James Bradbury, a Javon Hargrave, a Dayron Payne.
Yeah.
Guys we can bring in to fill those gaps and even add extra freedom for the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely have to agree.
Because we got cap to play with and pay cuts to possibly consider.
And if you notice, when Khan did take over after Kevin Colbert retired, when it came to Khan, he was doing Steeler things, compared to what Kevin Colbert did. Because
coming into this offseason, like, say in July, coming into the 2023 Steelers offseason, we're like, fuck, we got to extend Minka. We probably got to extend Boswell, maybe even Deontay. He did all that before the preseason even started.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's doing things that are non-Steeler-like. So, maybe we can hold on to that as extra hope.
Mm-hmm. And hell, he even signed Larry Ogunjobi.
Yeah, you did.
And Ogunjobi had a nice year for the Steelers.
Yep. He's a guy he needs to come back. So
yeah.
How you guys feel about that, man? Muth was my favorite. Muth is great. I'm glad that his injury isn't severe.
Yeah, Tomlin did confirm that it's only an MCL sprain, not a tear, and it does not need to require surgery.
Thank God.
So thank goodness.
Jordan Steele says Khan has to make this offseason count. Yes, he does. He needs to prove that, hey, I'm here to stay. I'm not saying Khan's going to go anytime soon, but a hell of an offseason would really set his future.
First impressions, say a lot. And
they do.
With his first true offseason, he's really got to blow it out of the water.
Right. The Steelers could really use a vet backup. This Stetson Bennett guy checks all the boxes. Honestly, a veteran backup for pretty much any position would be very welcoming.
Yeah.
For quarterback, for especially receiver. We don't have a slot receiver. Now, you could put Connor Hayward in there because he can play slot. He's got great hands. But is he a primary slot target? Not really. He's someone you fill in every now and then. He's a relief guy. He's someone that you really depend on, but he's not the primary slot guy. I would love to sign a vet slot guy. Who that is, I don't know. But kind of like a Jericho Cotchery type signing, or even if you remember Lance Moore.
Yeah, who remembers Lance Moore?
I remember Lance Moore. He caught Antonio Brown's only touchdown pass.
He did.
Versus the Texans on Monday night. I remember that game very vividly.
Jesus Christ. Now you're really taking us back. Wow.
Yep. So, I mean...
No, we need a true veteran wide receiver in that locker room. We haven't had that in quite a long time.
And even, possibly a veteran corner, like a true number one, like a Bradbury.
Yeah.
Or say someone else gets cut. Maybe sign him, grab them.
Yeah, there could be some surprise cuts. That tends to happen around the NFL offseason. So there could be plenty of other names out there that could end up being released, and the Steelers could definitely keep their eye on. I don't know.
Everyone's saying Juju. Maybe even James Washington. I wouldn't mind bringing Washington back. Juju.
Would he want to come back to Pittsburgh? I mean,
I think he's doing just fine in Kansas City.
Why would he want to leave Kansas City?
He just had did he have 1,000 yards?
I don't know if he did. Did he?
I'm going to check his stats.
I know he had a pretty solid year. He had a pretty solid year with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, last I checked, he had almost 1,000. He didn't get exactly 1,000. He was 67 yards short, but he almost had 1,000-yard season with Kansas City, and he's playing with Pat Mahomes, and they might even go to the Super Bowl.
They're the number one seed too.
Why would he want to leave Kansas City?
Why would he want to leave?
Why would he want to leave that offense? He said himself that I learned a lot more in Kansas City than I did in Pittsburgh in 5 years.
So why would he want to go back to that situation?
Juju's not coming back, folks. Let it go. Let Juju go. Okay?
He wants to stay in Kansas City or go somewhere else.
Listen, we are just fine without him.
We're not missing Juju.
I'm putting the beer down for this. And this is no negative on Juju, but I'm just saying, there's not one time this Steelers season that I saw play, I'm like, Juju would have done that. Juju would have caught that. There's not one time I thought of Juju when a receiver made an error because, honestly, Pickens has had a phenomenal rookie year. He could have had a much better rookie year with a competent coordinator, but he had a great rookie year. That Pickett to Pickens connection, the trust already is fucking scary.
Yeah. And again, Calvin Austin, we still don't know his potential yet, although it's very promising.
Yeah. Bringing Hugh Jackson as offensive coordinator. He was a terrible head coach, but a great coordinator. Remember those mid-2010s Bengals offense? I do. Is he still coaching?
I haven't heard Hugh Jackson's name since he got fired.
I'm gonna be real. No, KG beats. I'm good on Kingsbury as OC. He's Matt Canada with hair. Go back to Canada. Go back to college. Seriously, please.
The only thing that Cliff Kingsbury can truly hang his hat onto is he coached Pat Mahomes from Texas Tech. That's it.
He did.
Even then, he fell apart in the later season.
Right.
All the time. College and NFL. So I'm good on Kingsbury.
Poker Joker says I'd take Marvin Jones or Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry would be phenomenal. He didn't have a great season in New Orleans, but yeah, he's dependable.
Yeah, but both names, Marvin Jones or Jarvis Landry, they'd be great veteran additions.
Especially. I would love that. That's a great suggestion there. Electric Visual says the Super Bowl pick is the Niners. How about that? Imagine Kyle Shanahan, right? Didn't they start like what was it, 3-4, and they finished 13-4?
Yeah, they won 10 straight.
Wow. Without Trey Lance, without Jimmy G.
Yeah, Trey Lance went down early. Jimmy G broke his foot later into the season. Now they got Mr. Irrelevant and Brock Purdy, who's undefeated still, by the way, 5-0 as their starting quarterback.
Reminds me of Jimmy G when he first came in. Snacks, I couldn't agree more. That's my number one pick. Frank, how do you say his last name?
Frank Reich.
Before I get attacked, because I said his name wrong like every time. Frank Reich?
Frank Reich. That's what people are trying to tell us how it's pronounced.
Nonetheless, the Colts' former head coach.
Eagles' former offensive coordinator.
Bring him in. I don't think he was mostly the problem in Indianapolis, clearly, because you see how Indianapolis was with Saturday and company. I mean, it's just bad.
Well, guys, he didn't have a consistent quarterback.
No, he didn't. Indianapolis sucks. And Frank Reich, I don't think he's an actual head coach. Maybe he had a bad situation in Indianapolis. But seeing what he did with Philly, with Carson Wentz, with Nick Foles, and seeing how he is so good at building young quarterbacks, why would you not want to bring him in? Why are you not calling him right now?
He's literally right there available. You know for a fact some team is going to want to interview this guy.
Why are you not calling him right now? I'd get on the phone tonight.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't know.
I don't get it either.
The resume this guy has as OC, he got Nick Foles Super Bowl MVP, for God's sake.
He did. All right, what's the next discussion, man? What's the next discussion? What can we look forward to next season? It's the offseason, obviously, so what can we look forward to 2023? And obviously this is before the draft. This is before free agency happens, so what we do there is something we can look a little extra forward to. But we're going to talk about mostly from a roster aspect. What we saw towards the end of the year is what we can really get excited about. Obviously, the run game. The run game is promising. Najee, when healthy, with that foot injury fully healed, was a different monster.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he was going to eclipse 1,000. He eclipsed 1,000. He was a different machine in the second half of the season. Jaylen Warren, phenomenal story. Undrafted rookie. Was even thinking about retirement. And then now he's our number 2. He's so trustworthy.
Yeah.
So dependable in every aspect. We absolutely love the run game. We can trust that we have a great 1-2 punch finally, and we're actually using it.
Yes.
We are actually using a committee. We're splitting 50-50 between Najee and Warren. Thank God.
Yeah, because we were vocal early on into last offseason how you can't continue to have Najee run into...
No, we're not...
You can't run Najee into the ground because I think in his rookie year he had like 300-some-odd carries or something.
We're not giving the ball to Najee 300-400 times a year.
Can't do that.
Thank God a guy like Warren stepped up in training camp and took the number 2 spot, and now we can trust our run game. We can trust the 1-2 punch. We just got to give them a better line, so obviously they run a little more efficient, and they're not really bodying all the time. They're not fighting with guys all the time.
Yeah.
It's great to see that, but it's a little less wear and tear when you got a line to just create the holes for you.
Exactly.
We can trust the run game. That's exciting. Obviously is the Pickett to Pickens connection. George Pickens had a phenomenal rookie year. And I do think, I do feel confident saying phenomenal. He could have had a much better rookie year with a competent coordinator to give him the ball more, because we seriously need to feed him the ball more.
Yeah.
But seeing what Pickens did is so promising. And I don't think he even touched the iceberg. I don't.
No, not yet. Not yet, but we saw in that Week 3 Thursday night game against the Browns with that insane one-handed grab, like that was just the start of the potential that he was showcasing. And throughout the season, when Kenny Pickett came in, we saw that connection, the Kenny Pickett to Pickens connection. Yep. It was outstanding. It was promising. It's great to see. And when you throw the ball up to Pickens, you have that trust. You have that faith. Kenny has that faith in his receiver.
He is already one of the better 50-50 guys. He's one of the better contested catch receivers in the NFL. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he led the entire NFL receivers in contested catches. He's so dependable. So when you see him one-on-one, you got to like your odds. You gotta love the trust that Pickett already has in Pickens. You got to love their chemistry already. Because 9 times out of 10, Pickens is coming down with that football.
Yeah, he is.
And he's going to let you know about it. Whether that's pulling an AI, whether that's running you over, whether that's just, being George Pickens, man. You got to love his future and the potential he showed. And maybe if we do get a competent coordinator, just see what he can do, man. I do personally think he is now our new number one. I do.
Yeah, I definitely think he's taking that title from Deontay Johnson.
At least for this year. But I think he's an overall just great receiver because he's so much more dependable. He truly uses his big body to his advantage. The connection with his quarterback's already there, and it's only going to grow as they're growing together. Both their rookie seasons come to an end, so they're just going to keep going. And I hope in the offseason they completely work together, along with all the other targets.
Yeah.
Because that's just going to really help the progression of this young offense. So that's something we can get excited for is that.
Mm-hmm.
What else we can get excited for? I suppose Kenny Pickett as well. We can trust Kenny Pickett. We can trust some of our receiving depth. Everyone keeps saying we need to pick up a receiver in the draft. Maybe get a Jordan Addison to help Kenny Pickett's progression and his. He has great chemistry with him. I get where you're going with that, but I do like our receiving depth. I saw a lot of dependability in some of our guys. Deontay is still very hot and cold, but Pickens showed dependability. We all love Pat. Connor Hayward showed great hands when he had to step up.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Warren's very dependable. So is Najee in the receiving game. We're getting Calvin Austin back. We have yet to even see what he can do. He's never even played a game yet, but his speed is so attractive.
It is.
Maybe sign a vet guy, but I like our receiving depth.
Surrounding Kenny Pickett with all that talent, all that upside, especially in the second half of the season when Pickett was more careful, when he was less turnover heavy.
Yeah.
Pickett showed that upside. He showed that potential.
Yep.
That I'm sure all of us are excited about, or definitely looking forward to see what he does in his second year.
Another thing we can get excited about, and continuing on with the entire rookie class, the progression of DeMarvin Leal. When he had to step up, he looked really good. He showed hustle. He showed fight. He showed, hey, I'm going to have to step up in the coming years. Being an early draft pick, I like what I saw from him. Keeping along with the defense. Alex Highsmith, 14.5 sacks.
A breakout season for the young man.
14.5 sacks. What a season for Highsmith.
Led the team,
and mostly because of TJ's injury, but still spectacular.
But because when TJ went down, Alex Highsmith knew that he was the number one, and he had to play like a number one. He had to step up, and that's exactly what he did.
And to think, man, he's coming to a contract year next year.
Yes, he is.
I'm loving the progression of Alex Highsmith. I'm excited to see what he can do in his fourth year next year. So,
and if he continues that progression, which I'm confident he will, Steelers are going to have to pay the guy.
And if him and Watt stay healthy, man, that is scary.
And you're looking at another great dynamic pass rush duo.
Yep.
Like we saw with, going back a little bit, James Harrison and Lamar Woodley with that dynamic duo. And even TJ Watt, when Bud Dupree was here within his last 2 years, that pass rush duo was very dynamic. Yeah. It seems we're seeing it again with now Alex Highsmith pairing with TJ Watt. You love to see it.
You love to see it, man. You really do. So that's just a couple stuff we can really look forward to next year. And that's just talking from a roster aspect from what we saw towards the end of the season. But obviously, if we get a coaching change at offensive coordinator, that's exciting. We'll see what we do in free agency. We'll see what we do in the draft, and that's just going to further some excitement. But, again, if the Steelers and Mike Tomlin do very minimal changes, it's really hard to expect any change.
Yeah, that seems, and that's unfortunate, man. That seems to be the only thing that's what's really holding this team. And I hate that that's the case. I really hate how that's the case. All the Steelers got to do, all Tomlin's got to do is just make a simple change.
Yep.
And it's all business. That's all it is at the end of the day. That's what the NFL is. It's a business.
Yep.
As a team, especially in a historic franchise that is known to have success, you're looking to get better. You're looking to continue to win. If you have an error, you got to fix it.
Yep.
Simple, plain as that.
It's just we gotta get a competent offensive coordinator, and we gotta build the trenches.
Yeah.
That is most important. That's most important. And if we do that, there's a lot more to be excited about for next year. I suppose to get off the Steelers discussion, man. Let's talk about Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Coach T.
Let's talk about Coach T. A non-losing season once again.
16 consecutive seasons without a losing record.
And 2 of them, now officially 2 of them, without Big Ben. That goes to show you Tomlin is indeed a winner. He is. When it comes down to it,
down to the stretch, down to the last straw, let's say it that way.
He just somehow, some way pulls it off. He does. But at the same time, I have to give him some criticism. Only because, again, going back to earlier in the stream, 2-6. You lose to a team like the Jets. You can't put yourself in that position.
No.
Now, is it good on Tomlin to get us out that position? Absolutely. To finish 9-8 after a 2-6 start, that is phenomenal. That is a strong finish. I can't really hate on Tomlin for that. I can't give him any.
No, you got to give him his flowers. You got to give him his just dues.
But I don't know. I just feel like you can't get us in that position in the first place.
No.
Because how many times have we done it year after year after year? And again, you could blame Mitch. You could blame Watt being out. But wasn't Tomlin the one that started Mitch?
He made that decision. He made Mitch a captain. He chose Mitch to start.
Now, thankfully, he pulled him when he did, and it really helped jumpstart the second half. But Mike Tomlin, again, it's going to be a little bit more what we just said at the start, but this is going to be the biggest offseason for him, and 2023 is going to be the biggest year of his coaching career.
Yeah.
It really is.
Now, statistically, yes, he doesn't have a losing season. When you look at it statistically, he doesn't. But what has he done with that streak of non-losing seasons?
Not much. Not much.
Especially recently. What has he done?
Well, he still has yet to even win a playoff game since 2016. A non-losing season, but no playoff win since 2016.
And you look at...
It doesn't really sound that crazy.
And you look at the past 3 playoff appearances that we were in, what the hell happened?
Exactly. Blowout, blowout, blowout. Honestly, the fact that Joe Flacco couldn't get us into the playoffs is probably a saving grace for Tomlin because, let's be honest, it would have been the same thing versus the Bills.
It would have been a 4th straight playoff game that would have been a blowout for Tomlin.
That's a saving grace for Tomlin. And, yeah, we finished 9-8. It's above 500. It's a strong finish after a terrible first half.
But that seems to be a reoccurring thing for Mike Tomlin. And it's the only thing that seems to be the case for Mike Tomlin to hang his hat onto.
And it seems like that's the new standard.
And listen, don't get us wrong. Don't try to put words in our mouth, okay? We love Coach T. We love Mike Tomlin. We can't thank the guy enough for everything he's done since being the Steelers head coach. He's built a lot of great rosters.
I still love Coach T, and believe it or not, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I am. But this year especially, because before he rallied this team back to a 9-8 finish, I said, because we all thought that the first losing season was imminent. I said with no more non-losing seasons, without Ben to pretty much hold you up, there's nothing to sweep. You can't sweep this under the rug no more. And by that I mean just the constant years of the same errors, coaching errors, and game planning with the defense, and taking over the defense, and the same defensive errors, and this and that, and how many times do we say, oh, well, we got blown out by this team? How many times have we had to help, or have we had to have, how many times, how many years now have we had to get help from other teams to get into the playoffs? It's just the same thing over and over every year.
Yeah.
It's the same episode. It's honestly the same. It's like a broken record. And I suppose that's advertised with his first year without Ben, and seeing how he finished is a good thing for him. But seeing the constant errors every year and almost every week, because another thing with the season, man, even though we finished 9-8, let's not forget that most of those games we were up by how many scores, and we almost let them come back.
Yeah.
Sometimes we actually did let them come back and we lost, which is why we lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
It's just him getting complacent, and I think with this 9-8 record, that's what's going to happen. And I don't think there's going to be much change in the offseason from a coaching aspect.
And it just seems like it's something that he's been so conditioned to, the many years he had Ben and his first season without Ben, he's still doing it.
I just think that's the Tomlin standard now.
And you figure now that he doesn't have Ben anymore, he has a younger, more faster, more mobile guy with a stronger arm, definitely, nowadays, with a young stud.
Now.
You figure he changes ways, right? You figure he tries something new. He'd switch up the game plan to try to help out that young quarterback in Kenny Pickett into having this team bound for success, which still could be the case.
Yes.
But it just seems to be the same song and dance, even with Kenny Pickett in.
What I noticed with this Steelers team was it was just the same Steelers team the past couple of years, just a different quarterback.
The same game plan, the same coordinator.
The same errors, the same game plan issues, no adjustments at halftime, blowing leads. And most of that was week-to-week reoccurrences. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I am. And the way I say that is because I'm hoping this season is a huge wake-up call. Because he realized, oh, shit, Ben's not the quarterback, but the same shit's happening. Maybe I'm fucking up.
Right.
Maybe some of my errors are hurting this team. Maybe my decisions is what's causing us to not make the playoffs. Maybe me keeping the bald son of a bitch Canada is what's hurting this offense. Maybe it wasn't an aging Ben. Maybe it was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Tomlin opens his eyes and realizes that some of his mistakes and some of his errors he's done for years now is not going to fly no more. You got lucky getting 9-8.
And it seems that because, he doesn't have another non-losing season, because he's 9-8, that's going to blind him. That's going to blind what he needs to do to help this team, and it's going to blind all of us at the same time. This is why we're trying to say it.
That's not blind.
This is what we're trying to say. Me. Don't let this non-losing season streak, don't let, us winning the last 4 games to get to 9-8 blind you from the fact that Tomlin's been doing this for several years now. Right. And our worry, which is why we're bringing it up, is he's going to continue to do so. Why do you think we haven't won anything in recent years? And excuse us for having high expectations, but the Steelers are known for winning.
Yes.
We are a winning culture.
And you could say, yeah, this is one of Tomlin's best coaching jobs ever. This is one of his best coaching seasons ever because he got us in that position and he eventually dug us back out.
In a year that we knew was going to be a down year because, one, Ben was gone, he retired, and you're going to have a rookie quarterback, and you still had holes to fix on the team.
But that's also,
we knew this was going to be a down year.
But that's also why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, because of that.
But now, because you got through this season and you somehow managed to continue to have a winning record, that still doesn't mean that you can't just put it on the back burner, forget about it. Be like, I got another non-losing season, that's it. No. You still have plenty of holes and miscues and problems you got to deal with to fix. And that starts this offseason.
Yep.
It needs to start this offseason.
And hopefully he acknowledges that because we need to get to, we need to rally around Kenny, and hopefully Tomlin does open his eyes and realizes that, everything he's done the past couple years it's not going to fly no more. So we still love Coach T. We're giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to hold my breath entirely, but I'm hoping next year, and what is going to be the biggest year of his coaching career thus far with the Steelers, he really shows out. But I hope it's not the same song and dance. And if Canada comes back, you can damn well anticipate it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Big Ben is the reason why the Steelers haven't won a playoff game in 5 years. How do you win games when your quarterback throws more interceptions than touchdowns? I don't disagree. I feel like the reason why we lost that Browns game is because Ben kept throwing interceptions.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Now Ben was,
but that's also the Steelers' fault for retaining Ben as long as they did. Ben should have been, after that injury in 2019, he should have went. After 2020, he should have went.
Yeah. But they were too.
They thought he could do it again. He couldn't. And that's another reason why it set this team back. They trusted an aging O-line. They trusted an aging quarterback. And that falls on the coaching, that falls on the management, that falls on the ownership, that falls on the entire organization.
And all that is what's really set us back for several years, man.
Yep.
It's because they thought Ben could do it when Ben was not old Ben.
But they thought he was.
When he wasn't. He was old Ben, and I mean aging Ben.
Old. He wasn't OL debt. He was OLD. He was old. How long have we been streaming for? An hour and 18, man. An hour and 18 minutes we've been streaming. Wow, that time flies by, doesn't it?
Don't feel like it.
At least y'all OC coach better than the Ravens.
I
might have to agree, but
I don't
barely.
know, man. I don't know. I think they're on the same level.
But barely. I'd say barely.
I don't know, man. Maybe if you guys had a receiver. Who knows?
God, they haven't had a receiver in ever.
Probably since...
I can't tell you who their best receiver of all time is. Anquan Bolden?
Steve Smith. Mike Wallace was their last 1,000-yard receiver.
Mike fucking Wallace.
Yeah. That was 2016 or 17? That long.
I forget. Steelers kept old heads around as rewards for old championships far longer than they should. And that's what hurts them, is the loyalty. Which is also why Candace still has a job. Loyalty don't do shit in football no more. It's a blessing and a curse, and it's been a big curse for the Steelers the last couple of years.
They gotta learn to cut the cord, man. I don't know what it is. What? Because they see a little bit of progression toward the end of the season. We said that last year about Dan Moore. Look what the fuck happened. Mm-hmm. Dan Moore should not be starting. Well, how many times do we see progression from other guys toward the later season? Then we capped him at Keller Witherspoon.
Yeah.
We saw progression.
But at the time, like I didn't mind those decisions because I actually agreed.
Yeah, but looking back at it, I mean,
you also can't predict the future.
No, you can't. You're right.
But I get your point though. They're relying on hope. They're relying on what happened last year. They're relying on their own guys. I get it. Lincoln Park.
That's why they gotta learn from this, man.
Lincoln Park. I couldn't agree more. That left side is horrendous.
Yeah, it's dreadful.
It is bad. Ben was the last problem on the team. He was, I suppose, says Cody. Ben's doing his, is it a podcast thing? He's doing that, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
He's enjoying retirement, I suppose.
As he should.
It's long overdue, but he's enjoying it, so good for Ben. I still love Ben.
Yeah, I mean, he's relaxing, doing a podcast, drinking beer, chilling with his family. As he should,
the life.
As he should.
Sounds like the life.
That's what Ben needs to do.
Sounds like the life.
That's what Ben should be doing, man.
I think y'all gonna end up getting J.J. Watt. I don't see him retiring. He's retiring, guys. He's retiring.
He's done.
He's retiring. They don't
after that moment.
They don't have former coaches and players make thank you and congratulation videos. They don't have T.J. Watt go out and say, brother, thank you for teaching me a lot of lessons in football. They don't have that standing ovation this past Sunday in San Francisco for him to be like, hey, just kidding.
No.
And J.J. Watt's not coming to the Steelers. I know everyone had that hope like 2-3 years ago. It's not happening. Okay, 2-3 years ago would have been awesome. But now it's just silly talk.
The only time we're going to see J.J. Watt in anything Steelers like is him representing his brothers. That's it.
J.J. has a kid on the way. He should retire.
He already has the kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm thinking of someone else. But, yeah, J.J., man, just retire. A phenomenal career. Definitely first ballot Hall of Famer.
One of the best defensive players of our current generation.
100%. Maintain as much health as you can after a very, very injury-plagued career. Enjoy retirement, man. He deserves it. And cheer your brothers at the end of the day. Who knows? Maybe he comes to the Steelers games every now and then. I don't know.
Right. Probably less travel on his parents, too.
True.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, absolutely. So you guys rooting for Ravens this weekend? No. Are you kidding me? I'm not rooting for any of those teams.
No.
Fuck that game. What is that game?
Wild card weekend, I'm going to be honest.
Yes, the Ravens and Bengals again. No.
I'm going to be honest.
No.
We're looking at the
That's Sunday night. I'm going to bed. I'm not watching that.
No. Is Lamar even going to play in that?
If he's not playing, I'm definitely going to bed.
I'm looking at the schedule right here, right now. But I'm going to be honest. Wildcard weekend does not look that
I
spectacular.
hate that they added a 7th seed.
The only must-see game that I see, and I'm basing it because I'm anticipating Tua starting for the playoffs, is Miami and Buffalo. That's it.
Yeah, there's not. Maybe Los Angeles and Jacksonville because they're two young teams.
I don't know.
Seattle, San Francisco, that might be decent. Depends if Seattle wants to show up.
That's a divisional matchup. I guess you could say that's
Minnesota,
decent.
New York has the potential to be good. But yeah,
I don't know.
ever since they added a 7th seed, man, that's just been terrible. No 7th seed game has been any good. It's been mostly blowouts. It hasn't been entertaining. The fun gets when it comes to the divisional round. The wild card weekend is not what it used to be. And now that there's talks of an 8th seed, why would you do that?
Well, there was because of the whole Bengals Bills situation.
Well, don't do that.
Why would they bring in 8th? That's stupid.
That's absolutely ridiculous. It's like watching preseason football. Who wants to watch that?
Like,
If it's not my team, I don't care.
It's not necessary. And you know what's going to happen. A 7th seed ain't going to win this week. I'm guaranteeing that right now.
No. Seattle's not winning. And who's the other 7th seed? The Dolphins aren't winning.
Yeah.
And if we made it, we weren't going to win.
No.
We were going to beat the Bills. Come on. Come on. We weren't going to beat the Bills.
Hell no.
That wasn't going to happen.
That'd be the day.
Are we keeping Derek Watt? I say so.
Yeah, it's another free agent. Yeah, I think we keep Derek. Derek was actually used.
He was.
He was actually used.
In fact, I got a serious question. I have a serious question. I could be wrong on this, but I want to clarify before I say something.
What? What are you doing?
I knew it. Derek Watt was the last person to score a touchdown for the Steelers this season.
Yeah, he got the game sealer.
Derek Watt scored the last touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Derek Watt. Who had that on their Bengal card?
I didn't.
Yeah, what, 2 touchdowns this year?
The guy was I don't know. The guy was a special teamer in the majority of his Steeler career.
Yeah.
At least the first bit of it. He could still remain a Steeler. I would anticipate it.
When was the last time the offense defense been even is the problem? Good question.
Probably since, honestly, probably
2005? Yeah, but even then,
I don't know.
I would say 2005.
At least even, maybe.
Probably. It's been a minute, that's for sure. We can't win. We can't have both. We had a terrible defense when Ben and the Killer Bees were rising, and then once they left, we had a rising defense, and then the offense was just. We can't have both.
Nope.
Rooting between the Bengals and Ravens is like choosing between the Taliban and Al Qaeda. Yeah, I mean it's like rooting for what the hell is his name? Hitler and Stalin. It's not like
No.
you're fucked.
Yeah, no.
It's like rooting for Bill Cosby or O.J. Simpson. Like O.J. Simpson and Aaron Hernandez. I mean, what do you want? Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy? Matt Canada or Randy Fichtner?
Neither. Straight up. Neither, man.
Mark Malone or Mitch Trubisky? Lama Swede or Sammy Coates?
You can keep going, man.
Artie Burns or Senquin's Golson. Antoine Blake.
Okay, I'll give you one. Jinder Mahal, the great Khali.
Oh my God.
Oh
my
God.
goodness.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Room for
as long as both get eliminated.
right. Bengals win. Hate both, but at least the Bengals have put together a good team. Ravens are frauds, even with Lamar. Ravens have always been frauds.
Yeah.
Lamar, I don't know if it's mostly on Lamar. I say it's mostly on just Harbaugh and his coaching staff, man. He's always dropped the ball.
Hey,
He's always dropped the ball.
Can't find Lamar number one. Their defense has always been.
In fact, I'm actually putting money on the Bengals this week. I can guarantee a Bengals win. That's my lock of the week.
Yeah. Didn't the Bengals sweep the Ravens?
I think they did.
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to go through some predictions. Why not? Seattle and San Francisco. San Francisco's winning. They're legit. I was a little iffy about them because of the quarterback situation. They're legit.
No, their defense is what's definitely carrying them, but you can't underestimate the offense. You can't underestimate Brock Purdy's performance, and the addition of Christian McCaffrey has been nothing but spectacular. San Fran.
Los Angeles and Jacksonville. Upset of the week. I'm going Jacksonville.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Jacksonville?
Yeah. I don't trust L.A. I don't trust the Chargers. I love Justin Herbert. I don't trust the Chargers. Ever.
I could see, especially, it's in Jacksonville too. I could see Jacksonville potentially advancing, but I don't know if they're going to do it this year. And the Chargers, they've been playing a little bit better lately. Although I think in their last matchup, some of their star players kind of got hurt, but I don't know. I can see the Chargers advancing past the wild card, but the divisional, absolutely not. I got to go Chargers here.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going Chargers.
I'm going Jacksonville.
Why you do that?
Those are Saturday games. Sunday, Miami and Buffalo.
Buffalo,
100%. I feel like they have a new lease on life. Not lease on life, but they have a new sense of life with DeMar Hamlin and what happened to him and how he got relief from the hospital today. He's on his way back home. That's great news.
Awesome news to hear.
Phenomenal news. Pretty much a week after it happened. Like, now he's returning home. The Bills have a resurgence of life and kind of like purpose.
Yeah, they already did have purpose based off the performance they've had the past few years, but now they really do because they're going to want to win it for DeMar and give him a ring.
Agreed. New York or Minnesota? This is a toss-up because who do you trust more? Do you trust Minnesota in the playoffs or do you trust Daniel Jones and company?
With no receivers.
Kenny Galladay scored a touchdown, though, last week. Don't forget that.
Yeah, big whoop. So what? Who cares? You ain't worth that money. The only thing the Giants... I got to give props to Daniel Jones. Like, nothing drastic, honestly, but he was much more careful with the football. And Saquon Barkley is, without a doubt, in my opinion, comeback player of the year.
Right.
1,000-yard season, a complete career resurgence, especially with Brian DeBull, who's given a new lease on life for New York there. Minnesota, they had that nice win streak. They were looking real solid. They had a lot of great games this year with the comeback with the Colts and they beat the Bills, teams like that. Some great comebacks all around. They seem to be the comeback kings, and it could be another scenario for them in the playoffs. And it's in Minnesota, but it's the Vikings. Their resume this time of year is not good. They just tend to blow the season.
So who you going with?
Giants.
Are you serious?
I'm going Giants.
Upset?
Honestly, yeah. I just don't trust Minnesota. I don't trust Kirk Cousins in the playoffs.
If the Bull makes it to the divisional round, he's coach of the year. You can say he's coach of the year now, but especially so.
Justin Jefferson's had a stellar year. Dalvin Cook's still a great back. Their defense definitely stepped up big time. Patrick Peterson seems to be, for his age, he's doing real solid. Harrison Smith had another great year, but I don't know. It's the Vikings in the playoffs.
Right.
You can't count on them.
Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
We
talked about it a little bit before. Cincinnati, Baltimore, they're not a great team this year. They've blown a lot of leads this year. I got to go Cincinnati.
Agreed. Now, Monday night. Never lost to Dallas. Dallas at Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Are you serious?
It's Dallas in the playoffs. Lately, Dak's been very turnover heavy lately.
You're right.
It's hurt Dallas. It's cost Dallas. Cost them the game against the Commanders with Sam Howell starting last week. That's what's really going to bite the Cowboys in the playoffs is Dak's turnovers. I feel like they gotta limit that. I understand, he's got very good targets. CeeDee Lamb had a breakout year, and Dalton Schultz is a nice tight end for them too. And Michael Gallup, he seems to be playing better week by week since coming back from his injury, and that defense is really stellar. But I feel like they got to keep the ball out of Dak's hands and run the ball with not only Elliott, but definitely Tony Pollard. But it's going to be hard doing that against Tampa Bay's front seven, to which their front seven is still pretty stellar. Their run defense is really good, although they've had a very – they're 8-9, the losing record. Tom Brady's first losing record in his career. Probably his last.
And he still made his playoffs.
It's because the division sucks.
I know.
But it's Tom Brady in the playoffs, and it's Dallas in the playoffs. I got to go with the latter.
So,
or the first one, Tom Brady.
So let me get this straight. Tom Brady was in the a very easy division the majority of his career, but now he's in a terrible division, yet he still makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
He don't lose in life.
No, he does not. I don't know, man. Do you go Tampa?
I'm going Tampa. I'm sorry. Sorry, Dallas. Regular season champs, that's what you are, but playoffs, not so much. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
You're really thinking.
I don't know. I'm lost because I agree with you. I don't trust Dallas, but Tampa is not legit this year. But every time you doubt Brady, he shows you why you shouldn't.
Now
It's the playoffs.
And this is obviously it's a week 1 matchup from the game that was in Dallas, to which Tampa Bay destroyed Dallas, and that's when Dak got hurt. But since then, Tampa Bay's fallen off. Dallas has gone straight up.
Give me Dallas.
You going Dallas?
I'm going safe.
All right.
I'm only saying that so that Tom Brady can win.
Okay.
Yeah, but those are our the wild card weekend picks. Let us know you guys' picks down below, man.
Because, I mean, why the hell not, you know?
It should be an interesting week of football, that's for sure. All right, let me get these sent over. Sure, we got to pick a spread, don't we? I got to pick a lock. Whoops.
I don't know. Cincinnati's your lock? Yeah, Cincinnati's my lock, too.
Yeah, Cincinnati's my lock.
Yeah.
That game's going to suck. Especially if what's-his-face don't play. In my book.
Yeah, if Lamar don't play, do they risk it?
You have to. It's the season.
You have, right?
I feel like Lamar's, I think he's holding out.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Let's get, you know what? Let's get into the Ravens a little bit, man. Because why not, man? Do you think Lamar comes back? I don't think he does. I think he's gone.
I can't see the Ravens letting Lamar go, especially if they have that franchise tag available. If they franchise tag him, Lamar ain't going.
That doesn't mean he's going to play, though.
I understand that. That I could see. I could see them franchise tagging him, still not coming to terms to a deal, and Lamar not playing.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's always going to come back, though. I don't know.
That's what I think. They franchise tag him, but they don't come to a deal, and Lamar sits out.
I think he's waiting for the big bucks. You know, there's going to be some team that absolutely overpay.
But who the hell is going to be that? What quarterback needy team has the money to give him that money?
Colts.
You got a point.
I think Washington has money.
I don't know. What do you want to go to? Who wants to go to the Commanders?
He's taking the money. You see his play style? He's going for money. I don't blame him.
I don't blame him.
Quarterbacks like him, take the money, because you ain't lasting long.
No, you're right about that. Yeah, there's the Colts, there's the Commanders.
People call him a running back. What do running backs do? They take the money because they know they have a shelf life.
Good point.
It comes circle. No, Saints, Jets. I don't know. Hey, anything's possible. But what I do know is, or what I think,
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Maybe to pair with not Leftwich, but Bowles if he retains his job.
Yeah. They got the weapons Lamar's looking for.
I'm hearing
it's like when Brady wanted to leave New England because New England didn't have the targets.
I'm hearing the Raiders are targeting Brady.
Then where does Derek Carr go? Does Derek Carr go to the Ravens?
Oh my God.
Does he go to the Colts? Does he go to the
Do we
Jets?
get a quarterback for quarterback? Is it like Stafford and Goff?
Oh my God. It's gonna be a crazy fucking offseason.
Yes, it is.
Holy shit.
Quarterback changes. I do think Lamar's gone. I don't think he's a Raven. I don't think he plays this weekend.
We'll see.
I don't think Lamar's a Raven.
See. I don't know.
If he does play, I think it's his last game as a Raven. I think he is gone.
Damn. It's going to be crazy. That's all I can say, really.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it melt down. That's for sure. If they retain it, it's a double-edged sword for the Ravens. Either you overpay for a quarterback or you let him go and then you're kind of stuck.
Now, here's my thing. If they're going to pay him that much to keep him, they got to give him weapons to help it.
That's also why he's holding out. He ain't got no weapons. They traded away Marquise Brown.
But even then,
he has no number one.
Even then, the Ravens can't find targets.
No, they can't.
They suck at receivers.
They're the opposite of us at receivers.
Yeah, they are.
They are the opposite of us at receivers.
Yes, they are. Remember that first-round receiver they took? Who was it?
Rashad Bateman?
No, not Bateman. No. It was
Rashad Perriman.
Rashad. Yeah, how'd that turn out?
It turned out good. Well, better for the Bucs than it did for the Ravens.
Yeah, honestly, Jesus Christ.
What about the Pats? Do they give up on Mac Jones? I mean,
honestly, I think Bailey's that.
I was gonna say
Mac Jones. Honestly, I think they should. The Patriots, they're gonna see what Mac Jones is gonna do. Obviously, in his third year, but if Mac Jones shows zero progression, go with Bailey Zapp.
I could see that.
Or does Tom Brady go back? Huh? Does he want to reunite with Belichick?
No.
Does he want to go back?
No.
Especially if the Patriots get another receiver.
No.
Does Gronk come back?
No.
I'm just saying, man. One last hoorah.
Gronk needs to go to Cancun and stay there. That's all I know.
Could happen.
By the way, a quick stat update. God, this is heavy. Swear jar.
Yeah, the yearly swear jar for the NFL regular season for the watch parties. Throughout the whole 18 weeks.
Yes. As a matter of fact, that was only for this year. And the swear jar, as a matter of fact, this is going to be a yearly thing now. So what's going to happen is at the end of this season, so at the Super Bowl, we are going to collect what's in here, and that's going to go to a giveaway.
Yeah.
And then throughout the entire offseason, draft, the remainder of the offseason, the 2023 season, all the way to the end of the Super Bowl. So from Super Bowl to Super Bowl, this thing is going to be collecting probably a dozen coins. A dozen coins. Hundreds of coins.
Yeah.
But we did count what's in here before we went live. And there's still a couple weeks until we get a final price. Right now, there is $62.37 in here. We got a couple extra weeks. Yeah, this is what $62.37 is what we collected from our misery from the Steelers this year.
That's what the Steelers, yeah.
Yes. So,
but this is going for a good cause, too, because whoever is in this at the end of the season will be going towards a giveaway to you guys.
How that's going to go, how that's going to be organized, we don't know yet. Because YouTube and their bullshit messes things up. And they're very iffy about certain links and how we do certain things, and other creators for that matter. So we're going to have to figure out a way to do the giveaway and make it open to as many people as possible, but especially like all you long-term guys.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure that out, but we still got a couple weeks to collect here, and we're going to get a final price where we will reveal that at the very end of the Super Bowl, because every year after the Super Bowl, we do a live stream where we pretty much announce the winner of the weekly predictions jersey giveaway, which I think this year's Cam Hayward. So we're going to announce that, and we're going to announce how much is in here at the end of the year, and that's going to go to a giveaway. We're going to find something that's within the price range, hopefully something pretty nice, and then we'll figure out the giveaway at some point. But for the next couple of weeks, we're going to keep collecting coins, and that's going to be on and off camera. So
that's the plan.
Which, as a matter of fact, if I should have kept count, this should be filled $10 extra from tonight. If I'm being honest with you.
All right, there you go.
We got dozens more of coins to put in here, so I'll probably put in like an extra 5 just for all the cursing tonight. So yeah. He said, Justin says I have an idea for that.
You have an idea for that?
What's the idea? Buy a Robert Spillane jersey. A Spillane jersey? Donate the money to Dapper Dan's. Or maybe that goes to DeMar's
yeah, GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, yeah.
There you go.
I don't know, I feel we gotta give it back to you guys though. All the support you guys have given us all year, it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, it is.
Even 92 yins and almost 100 yins. Almost 60 likes, man, on a Monday night where Raw's on. The college football
national championship.
is on,
yeah,
man. Like,
TCU and Georgia, man. I'm sure a lot of you are tuning in for that one. It should be a good one. TCU looking for their first championship in God knows how long. And Georgia looking to be the first back-to-back repeat champion since Alabama back from, I think it was 2012 and 13, if I'm not mistaken.
right. He just said we can run the giveaway via the Steelers Country website.
Yes.
Bet.
Great idea, man.
Use the money to buy a Jarvis Jones jersey? No. A Franco jersey. If there's any Franco jersey out there I can get for $62.37,
Get at us.
I wish. Maybe one on eBay, but it was 38.7.5. I knew it. Let me guess, Georgia. Georgia.
Let's take a look. Yeah, hold on.
Who would have thought? Right? It's Georgia. Right?
Holy
I knew it.
fuck.
There was two things that was going to happen. Either TCU is going to pull off an upset or Georgia's going to win by blowout.
Already?
They're going to go back to back.
There's no way they choke this. With that defense, hell no.
Hey, I'm just saying. We drafted George Pickens last year. He was a national champion. How about 2 straight years we draft another national champion? That being Broderick Jones. Is he going to fall at 17? Probably not. He's probably overall the best tackle in the draft.
Arguably.
But I would love Broderick Jones.
I would like another guy, but I know we're not going to get him.
Who?
Come on.
Paris Johnson?
No, he's Ohio State. I'm talking about from Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. Are you talking about Jalen Carter?
Yes. I would love Jalen
Carter
Carter.
would be nice.
I know we're not. He's not falling to 17. Get out of here. He's top 5. He's top 5 for sure.
Bro, Brock Bowers, bro. He's going to be a hell of a tight end. He's filthy.
Yeah.
Next year he's going to be a top draft pick.
He had a stellar year. Yeah, he did.
My goodness, man. Let's see. We're in the chat. TCU should never have been in the playoffs. I agree. All right, Aiden says he's going to head out. All right, Aiden, appreciate it, man. Have a great night, bro.
Yeah, have a good night, man. Thank you.
Who are y'all root for this weekend? Ravens are...
Nobody.
I'm not rooting for nobody.
I'm rooting for both of them to lose in the playoffs.
I'm rooting for everyone to come out healthy. That's all. Draft Keely Ringo, DB from Georgia. I would love Keely Ringo too. I don't know if he'll be there at 17. But I'm still focused on left tackle being the first pick. Can we please get Jordan Addison and Joey Porter, please? I see why you said that. I'm for Addison if he were to somehow miraculously drop, but he's not.
No, he's not.
I'm not focused on receiver early. Joey Porter Jr. in the second round, definitely.
If he falls to day 2 for 32nd,
But he's not falling. I don't think he's falling out of the first round.
it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. If he does, I mean, I think
Those two might be both first round talents.
Yeah.
In fact, if Jordan Addison didn't get hurt this year, he's first round. Guaranteed. He may already be guaranteed, but if he didn't get hurt, definitely guaranteed. Because he was playing with the future Heisman.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord. Didn't he just win the Heisman?
Addison?
Not Addison. Caleb Williams.
Did he? I
Didn't
think he
he
did.
just win
I
the-
think he did.
I forget. A better question is who you hate more?
Bengals.
Yeah.
I got more respect for the Ravens than I do hate.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I respect the Ravens more than I do the Bengals.
That, yes.
I hate them,
I have more respect than hate for the Ravens.
but I hate the Bengals just a little bit.
I don't hate the Ravens,
Right.
but I just got mad props for them.
I will give the Bengals this. Major respect to them for what transpired after the DeMar Hamlin incident. Them saying we're not playing this game, the fans checking on him, the coaches and the players checking on him, and the Bills in general.
Yeah.
The fans donating to DeMar Hamlin's GoFundMe. Major respect for that.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that. Joey Porter Jr. and the defensive tackle out of Baylor for me. Yeah, he'd be nice too. Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Big boy. Oh, yeah. Talk about Casey.
If we were able to get both those guys somehow day 2, I mean, that's a fucking win.
talk about
I don't think that's going to happen.
Talk
though.
about the next Casey Hampton, man. We need another Casey Hampton to fill that gap.
Yeah, you need a big guy that can.
He's not just big. He's
I know, for his size, he's pretty quick.
I don't know. What are they feeding these athletes
I don't
now?
know.
It seems like every athlete is like fast and agile.
I don't know, but he's one of my favorite day 2 guys. He's one of my favorite day 2 guys.
Agreed. George Pickens got hurt, and he fell to us in the second. Remember that. You're right, but he was out all year. Addison still had, I think, 700 yards.
Yeah. Or was it 800, something like that.
Now, granted, receiver, I mean, there's a pretty decent amount of receivers in this year's draft, but I think Addison's still going number 1. Assuming y'all hate the Browns more than both, I don't think I hate the Browns more than both. Browns are the least team I hate in the North. It's Bengals, Ravens, Browns.
No, Browns got up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Browns got up there, especially recently.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Right.
It doesn't surprise me because of the desperation that they have, but they sold their soul, man.
Yeah, they did. Oh, yeah, they did. But hey, they're making coaching changes, and we're not.
Yeah, I'll give them that. They're doing something off the bat.
I don't get it.
I'll give them that.
Everyone's making coaching changes, but us.
Oh, there was progression. That's enough. No, it's not.
Torrance out of Florida is perfect Dodson replacement. Osiris Torrance, yes.
Yeah.
Love him too. If he falls at 32, man, that's impossible to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Impossible to pass. Since we're talking about prospects and mocks, man, you guys can anticipate the first mock to come out in the next coming weeks. I'm not going to give you a defined date, but it's going to be sometime soon after the Super Bowl. Give us a couple extra weeks to start scouting talent. You guys already know what positions we're going to draft first, but I want to scout certain talent and see, who we can look at and what we can grab, and I want to see how much depth at certain positions, because I just did a little bit of that yesterday. We all did our own first unofficial mock drafts.
Yeah.
On Pro Football Network yesterday. So I mean, yeah, I'm already liking some of the scouting I'm seeing and some of the players that we could possibly snag. So give us a couple weeks to start scouting, and then it's gonna be the mock drafts will be coming soon.
It's gonna be a fun offseason. It really is. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
It is. What position are you drafting in the first round? Said it before. I'll say it again. I'm not gonna stop saying it. Left tackle.
Left tackle.
Tomlin's pressure was so hard to listen. Obviously. Well, yeah, the totality of the totalityness of that press conference was,
Dude, I don't know how many times you said totality. I'm not sure if me and Dan and Justin were the only ones.
Listen, all you had to do was just, if you missed it, good, because you didn't miss anything. He gave zero clarity on anything. He said a bunch of nothing. It's like he was just trying to find words to find the answer to stuff so he can get out of there. Honestly. We need Joey Porter at 17.
I don't know.
I don't hate it.
Maybe not.
I don't hate
maybe
it.
not yet, but maybe he builds his draft stock. There's always that
I think
possibility.
he will too. But I don't hate it. I don't hate Porter at 17.
And it's something I can see the Steelers doing. Because one, it's definitely a need. Although I can see the Steelers band-aiding the situation. I hate to say it. I see it happening.
Yeah.
I see them retaining William Jackson. I don't know why, but I do. But one, because it's a need. And two, I mean, it's Peasy's son.
Any way to get Peasy back in the locker room, so be it.
Yeah.
But I'm still locked on left tackle. You're not going to hear me say otherwise.
No, I agree.
Unless they sign or trade for someone capable, I'm not going to stop saying it. So get used to it. Get used to it. Let me just tell you, the first couple mocks, hell, maybe even damn near every single mock, the first pick at 17 is going to be left tackle. Can you agree? Can you agree?
I can agree about 97.1.
97.1, okay.
Yeah. 97.1%, yes.
97.1. Okay. The totality of how incredibly complacent he has been has obviously become the new standard. Obviously.
It's okay. He'll evaluate the situation.
Yeah.
So
Not a Steelers fan, but shout out to them. They had a quarterback situation, injuries, and a rough start to the season. Finished 9-8. Meanwhile, my Cards had a rough start, injuries, and went 4-13. It's sad. But here's the thing. At least you fired somebody. At least you relieved your GM. At least you're making changes. At least you're trying to fix all the mess ups that your organization has caused you and your fans for 5 years. And more than that. But let's be real.
you're trying to clean up, and
These guys are doing something. We're just sitting on our hands. Oh, wow.
And apparently I heard that Kyler Murray's going to have input on the next head coach.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we'll see how that goes, as well as his recovery process because he suffered a torn ACL late into the season. I hope he's doing well. Prayers to him, obviously, because, I mean, he's a great athlete.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think he was worth the money that the Cardinals gave him, but then again, that's their fault. They should never paid him that much, but, I mean, they're in that situation, but...
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
You taking a middle linebacker in the second round? Possibly. Very possibly.
Honestly, I wouldn't... If we don't sign a middle linebacker, I can see it happening.
But I could also see the Steelers maintaining Miles Jack with a pay cut and just seeing what they have in Robinson.
I don't know,
He started the last 2 games.
He did, and he looks okay.
I still feel like we definitely need depth.
Yeah.
And definitely in our linebacker. I'm not starting Robinson immediately.
I don't know. If Edmonds is available, if the Bills don't resign Tremaine, you got to get Tremaine.
I agree.
You got to get Tremaine.
I agree. Sorry for tuning in late. What do you think will honestly happen with Matt Canada? Honestly, all jokes aside, full-on seriousness, think he stays. Think his job is safe. I think he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think his play calling, which was better, not much, but it was better. I think that's enough for Tomlin to say, you know what, you're good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough for Tomlin to, leave him no choice to fire him. I think Tomlin's going to keep him.
Edge depth is what you need badly, too. Edge depth is seriously what we need.
Yeah, Malik Reed was a
bum. He's a bum.
I don't know what type of player he was in Denver that caused him to fill in for guys like Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, and it caused him
Desperation.
I guess it was. I suppose it was. The player that Malik Reed was in Denver, he left in Denver. None of that came to Pittsburgh.
No, he sucked. When he stepped in for Watt, bro, he
had no right wearing.
It was better. You've been better off just playing 10 guys on the field because Malik Willis did nothing.
He had no right to wear number 50.
I'd rather trust Arthur Millette to blitz on the edge. I'd rather blitz Edmonds every damn play.
Yeah, Malik Reed, it's another guy that's gonna be a free agent.
He can go.
Don't bring him back.
Sutton, Edmonds, Ogunjobi, and Casey. Maybe Spillane.
Maybe Watt.
That's it. Everyone go. Maybe Mason. Everyone go.
Yeah.
What about Danny Smith? Isn't he supposed to be retiring?
I don't know what the update is about Danny Smith. I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if he stays. I feel like. As long as they keep giving him a big pack of bubble gum, he's gonna stay.
He's gonna stay, but yeah,
he'd be munching on that bubble gum.
We could use a change at special teams coordinator. My God, do we need a new fucking?
Who would fill in? I couldn't tell you.
There's no improvement. Harvin sucks. Boz is a saving grace. Our returners suck.
There's no difference. We could use a different change of scenery. Who that would be? I couldn't tell you.
I'll be the last person to even guess because I don't know anybody out there.
I could not tell you. Saved my life.
Are we sure Ken has another year left, or did his contract expire? I'm confident he has 1 year left. The players are vouching for Canada, so he'll stay. Says Steely with $199. We're doomed. His job is safe. We are doomed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 season is officially over. Telling you right now. I'm telling you right the fuck now.
Better luck in 2 years,
I guess. I'm telling you right now. If Canada doesn't go anywhere, you're not going to see much change. You're not.
I don't see much change.
They're going to rely on the run game like they did at the end of the season, but there's not going to be much change. There's not. If they improve the line, it might be a little better, but the calls aren't going to be better. You're still going to see jet sweeps. You're still going to see idiotic calls.
Sideline shot.
You're going to see Kenny rolling out to the right, to the left to throw to the sideline. You're going to see the middle of the field completely emptied.
How many times did our defense, the defense that we were facing, right, our opposing team, the opposing team we were facing, say, we knew what they were doing? We knew exactly what plays they were doing.
Kenny said it himself.
Yeah, he said, it's kind of hard to execute doing the same plays. It's like, that's a problem.
All right.
Now all of a sudden, the players are vouching for Matt Canada. What the fuck changed? What happened?
I don't know. Secret Underdog, the gamer says, have to go. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Have a great one. Have a great week. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers take D-line early. I vouch for it. They need to. If Canada gets fired, who's your offensive coordinator? Frank Reich.
Frank Reich.
Easy. Canada improved for y'all this season. That doesn't save his job. Doesn't save his job.
That's not enough to save his job. It's not. I'm sorry.
I've seen enough of him. How do you think we would have done if we drafted Malik Willis and put him in the same position as Pickett? We would have been fucked.
Oh, no.
We would have been fucked.
No, we're not 9-8, bro.
There's a reason Malik Willis got benched for Josh Dobbs.
We're not 9-8. We're 4-13. If we're lucky. I'm sorry.
We would have to start Mitch all year.
Malik has that. No, we would have to go with Mason.
Mason would have to start.
Yeah. Well, then again, if I look at it that way, maybe another 2 games of winning. So 6 and 10. 6 and 11.
7-9.
7-10.
Fuck.
Fuck week 18.
God, I'm still not used to that. Let's see. Hire Cliff Kingsbury? No. I'm gonna say it one more time. He is Matt Canada with hair. That's all he is.
Kingsbury did nothing in Arizona. He did nothing to progress Kyler Murray. He made same with the GM. They made the dumbest moves. They traded a first round for Marquise Brown. Wait, what did he do? I haven't heard Marquise Brown's name at all.
Ever. Did he play this year? I can't tell you.
I have no idea. The best move they did was trading for DeAndre, and they didn't have to trade it first. That's it.
That's because Bill O'Brien's a moron. And it's 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock already.
Yeah, it is. Jesus Christ. Time goes by.
Yeah. And we unfortunately have work in the morning. At least we think so.
I believe so, yeah.
Knock on wood. But, yeah, we're going to get on out of here. We appreciate every last one of you for joining us for pretty much, I don't want to say a last-minute live stream, but it was pretty much decided this morning. We're just going to go live and just discuss the Steelers offseason all in full. We'll probably crop certain segments of this and make it into separate videos for later.
Yeah. Get more content out there for you guys for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But the offseason is here. The content won't stop. Again, shout out to Cold Steel because he'll be joining us in the future, and he's going to be a big part of some of the changes that are coming to the channel. Nothing too drastic, just quality and graphical and certain things are changing. But it's going to be an upgrade, and hopefully with the Steelers there's improvement as well. So.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Not going to hold our breath, but we'll see what the future holds for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the 2023 NFL season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we're going to get on out of here. Appreciate you guys for joining us, man. On your way out, do us a favor, hit that like. And you guys enjoy your guys' week. Have a great week. Enjoy the playoffs from the couch because we're not. I know I'm not. At least not this week.
No.
One more question. Who's the top left tackle coming out of college who can start right away? Paris Johnson or Broderick Jones. Maybe even Peter Skoronski.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Those are the top 3 in my book.
Skoronski's from a smaller school, and he's a little undersized, which is a little concern, but probably an upgrade over Dan Moore.
Hopefully one of those, anybody could be an upgrade than Dan Moore. Hopefully one of those guys becomes a Steeler. We'll see. But you guys enjoy your guys' week. Make it a good one. The playoffs are here. Hopefully it's a fun one. Hopefully we get some enjoyment out of football. And it's already the playoffs. NFL season's almost done. But the Steelers season is done. It's time to make moves. Let's get to it.
Other teams are doing it. Now it's your turn. What's to wait for? Let's get to work. Let's get some changes going. And let's get ready to prepare for the 2023 season. It should be fun. And see you in the next one. Appreciate you guys.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!